you cannot help but feel some pain for the Croatians. You cannot help but feel sorry for them. What a great performance they put up against the Brazilian side, who deserved to win by 3 goals to 1 the opening game of this year's FIFA 2014 World Cup. This team had difficulties, I mean the Brazilian team, beating the Croatians, not because they were bad, but because the Croatians did something that most teams wouldn't do. Most teams will come against this Brazilian team and will play one striker up front, just trying to close up and catch them on the counter one way or the other. But this Croatian team came up with two central strikers who always stopped the two central defenders of Brazil from coming out to attack, and at the same time attack the fullbacks who where we all know is the weakest link of the Brazilian team. And that's how their goal came. The goal came from a pull-out from one of the fullbacks and, well, an own goal from the other fullback who was trying to come in person of Marcelo. A great game, a great opener for the World Cup for us all. Now, Dimeji Olatosun from Nigeria, Lagos, I think, asks me on Twitter and says, how were the Croatians able to, prove this difficult for the Brazilians? First, you must look at the psychological point of view. It is the opening game. Opening games are always difficult to negotiate. Secondly, the Brazilians, in my opinion, came into this game with the feeling that they were invincible and it was going to be a walkover. And I must be honest, although they deserved to win, they were very lucky. And short of Neymar, who took the fight, who took the whole responsibility and said, look, I will try to push this up, I think most of Brazilian players were not able to play as good as we are used to seeing them play. Not because they were not good, but because the Croatians were tactically well put in place. Oscar, I think, was, for me, though Neymar scored the goals, I think Oscar was the best player on the pitch. He produced numerous pull-outs that were dangerous, that could have been converted, and he scored a quality goal when Neymar went out. So I think in all it was a great performance by the Croatians. This game, all the Croatians wanted to do, they wanted to play, they didn't want to lose big. They knew the Brazilians were going to be difficult to beat, but at the same time, they didn't want to lose big. And a draw would have been equivalent to a victory for them. What I mean by losing big, they know that the next opponents that are going to face the Brazilians are going to have difficulties not conceding more than 1 or 2 or 3 goals deficits. So all they had to do was not lose this opening game big and take their chances when their point striker Mandzukic is back, and then they can, because he was, for those who Mandzukic of the Bayern Munich fame, who is the point striker for Croatia, was purging a 1-match suspension, so he wasn't available, and that also explains why Croatia played the way they did, which was a little bit flat up front, and that's why they'd had probably not so much of a sting up front. What also surprised me and kind of like, and it will be a problem for Brazil going up forward, is the fact that I think in the midfield, or we could see in the midfield, that the Brazil lacked a lot of creativity. The fact that they were playing Paulinho and Gustavo together, who are both very central, recuperating defensive midfielders, which is understandable because you need these two to be able to like carry the weight behind the 4 very ultra offensive players in Neymar, Hulk, Oscar and Fred. But that notwithstanding, they will have to improve this when they come across a much robust opposition. The lack of movement is very unlike Brazilian, but at the same time also, could it have been that was due to the fact that the Croatians did not give them so much room, especially in the first 35 minutes of this game. That notwithstanding, I think the Brazilians are still favorites to, from what they showed us today, to probably lift this trophy here. But then again, let's not talk in a hurry. We have not seen Spain yet. We have not seen Germany yet. We've not seen the Dutch yet. We've not seen the French, how they're going to stand up without Ribéry. The World Cup is just starting. Stay tuned. There'll be more for you.